kind of just like a toothpick. It's that example that we talk about often, but again, such a strong storm that came through here in Hazelwood. Obviously, a lot of infrastructure damage then to these power lines. There's lines laying down on this street. There are some people who are starting to get out and assess the damage. We were at an apartment complex a little bit farther down on Tucson where there are roofs ripped off these apartment units. That entire apartment complex has now been evacuated. People were telling me the glass was sucked right out of the windows. Again, such a strong storm here, and a lot of people just very, very grateful that they are okay. I want to bring in somebody who weathered this storm. His name is Mitchell Prost. Come on over here for me, Mitchell. You were actually a senior at Hazelwood, but you were home at the time. Tell us what you saw and heard here.
Well, I was actually in my bathroom at the time, and my power went out. And as soon as my power went out, it sounded like a train was going by my house, and it was crazy. It was like the loudest thing I ever heard in my life. And as soon as that went out, I ran to my basement as fast as I could, and that's about it. Went down there with my dog, and we hid in the basement for about 5 minutes, and came back up. And as soon as I came back up, I looked outside, and all my neighbors were coming out with their flashlights and everything, and asking if everybody was all right, and it was good. That's pretty much what happened.
Now, how soon after that did you hear from your parents, who obviously were probably very worried about you?
Well, actually, my phone was dead at the time, so it took about like 10 minutes to find somebody with a phone. And I called them and then told them what happened, and it was about 10 minutes after, so yeah.
Now, we can't see from here, but describe to us in detail the damage to your backyard right now.
Well, actually, in my backyard, I have 6 50-foot pine trees in my backyard, and I guess like the tornado dropped them over, and they're all in my pool actually, all of them broke in half. It's pretty insane.
And it's kind of hard to believe for you right now as you look around at all this?
Yeah, it is, actually.
What do you think about your neighbors kind of starting to get out? I mean, what are you seeing with the neighborhood here?
The neighborhood's pretty torn up. We walked around every single street. We went up the street a little bit to see the apartments, like you were saying, and it's pretty crazy up there. It's not that bad down here, but up there, definitely, it's a lot worse.
Now, maybe one possible silver lining, I guess you don't have to go to school tomorrow, but is it kind of a bummer that, you know, that this is happening and you have to deal with it?
Yeah, it's definitely a bummer. I don't want to hear that anybody got hurt or anything, but I mean, that's the main thing. When you think of a tornado, you want to make sure that nobody got hurt, and that's the first thing that goes through my head, so just want to make sure everything's okay.
But again, as you're saying, kind of that classic train-like noise with this storm.
Yeah, definitely. It sounded exactly like a train almost, and all you could hear was like the cracking of limbs all down the street. I guess it was those trees in my backyard, right?
Okay, you had to be a little afraid, I would imagine.
A little afraid, not very afraid, a little bit. It was kind of frightening, yes.
All right, Mitchell, thank you so much. I think, you know, a tough guy here, but certainly that had to be very, very frightening for several people in this area. Again, those residents in that apartment complex say they were just terrified. They had to take cover as well.